Hello, everyone. This is Mike,
Holly here.
and we're from Optimize. I'm a level 2 coach, or working towards level 2. She is working towards a level 1, and we're hosting this little thing for, as far as I know, the next 6 weeks, every Sunday at 9 o'clock. And we were recording before, and I got scared that I wasn't in the right meeting room, but I think I was in the right meeting room the entire time. So if I feel like editing the video, I might include that initial thing where I almost fell off my chair, didn't spill my coffee, and got to rocking and rolling. Now, here's the deal. I think it's just me and Holly right now. So usually on the Optimize Coach stuff, we will do what's called a breathes before we get going. So I think what we're going to do, since this was supposed to start at 9, it's officially 9:06. I think we're going to kick into that breeze, and then it's going to be an interaction between me and Holly here as a year 2 and a year 1, kind of share ideas of what's working, what's not working, maybe where there's some holes in the coaching game or our game, and just have a conversation. Why not? Why not interview my wife?
I'm up for it.
All right, so here we go. You can do this eyes open, eyes closed, whatever you want to do. Just relax. Okay, so let's all breathe in for a count of 6. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose or your mouth, whatever you want. Breathe in for 6. Hold for 2. Out for 7. Maintain that pace as we go on. So inhale and energize. Feel the energy grow within you. Exhale and allow that energy to flow throughout your entire body. Inhale, feeling tall, telos. Pull the thread through the top of your head and feel your spine lengthen like a archer taking aim at a target. Exhale, heroic heart. Chest up, chin down. Feel the love in your heart and give it to your world. Inhale, Eudaimon. See that best version of you. Be that best version of you in this moment. And exhale with a smile. Okay, that is the Optimized Breathes. And that is how you can get yourself connected with you, your body, and the world, so that you can go forth and rock it with positivity or whatever you want to do. You can do it with negativity too, but who wants to do that? Whatever you want. So, Optimize Coach, year 2, year 1. How has this experience been for you so far?
So far, I'd say it's been a pretty good experience. I kicked off the Optimized coaching program before it actually started, though. My wonderful husband and swim buddy, Mike over here, he helped me kind of get through the first little bit of it early. So I started doing my carpe diems, and we actually, last year with Mike being in coach year 1, we were going through +1s with our kids and doing meditation before as a nighttime routine. So some of this stuff was, I was already familiar with. The hardest part for me was probably getting through my first couple of weeks of carpe diems.
Yeah.
it felt like I was overthinking it a lot and trying to fill up as much space as I could. And that's not necessarily what you need to do.
That's fantastic. We can drill into that because I honestly still feel like the carpe diem, that is a roadblock for a lot of people. Like I still have a hard time ensuring that I do it every day. I've never been a guy who journals, but I can truly appreciate the difference in my life when I actually take the time to sit down and write out the things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Write out the things that I sucked at, write out the things that I did that were good. And the one wonderful thing that they've done this year is they've shifted in the Optimized Coach program to gratitude.
Yes.
So 3 times a day, you're supposed to be writing down the things that you're grateful for. And if nobody knows what a carpe diem is, it's a sheet that's got a bunch of different things that you can track in a day. Do we have one available?
Do.
My backpack's in the closet.
Here's one of Mike's.
Oh yeah, here we go. So this is what they look like. It's got a bunch of stuff on there. I utilize a little Mario building block for doing burpees and other things in a day, but it's got your gratitudes there, and I use this section for your energy, your work, your love, to be grateful for things in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. Beyond that, it's also got your identity that you want to be for those. You've heard me talk about that before. You've got your identity for your energy. For me, it's usually mobile Spartan. Then you've got your identity for your work. For me, it's usually creator. Every now and then, depending on the situation, it's leader or dad. It shifts around. And then you got your identity for your love. You know, who are you going to be in terms of love? For a long time, I don't know what it used to be. I forgot what it used to be, but it's been Soul Guide for a long time now for me, because that helps me shift out of, it doesn't matter what I want. It really doesn't. It's whatever the other person wants or needs in the moment. So as a Soul Guide, that's a hell of a lot better for me to actually shift and do the things that I need to, no matter what. It was, I don't even know what it was. I stopped using it a long time ago because Soul Guide fit. Then you got your virtues that you're going to live with for those identities. Then you got your behaviors that you're going to do. Your number one thing that you need to do for that day, and one thing that you can turn around. And it's got a ton of tracking on there. Love 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. There's just a ton of stuff on here. And if you take the time to do it, you can have a fantastic day. And it's a good little way to hold yourself accountable. But
yeah,
I think where a lot of people get stuck are on those identities.
Yeah, that was one thing that was the hardest for me, was the identities. For me lately, I've been identifying my energy as a Spartan. Do you know what today is, actually?
What, the day that
we were supposed to do our super in Seattle?
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Today's Sunday. The super's on Sunday, isn't it? No, the
Nope.
beast is on Sunday.
Nope.
So yesterday.
The big ones on Saturdays.
Oh.
And then the small ones. So yeah, yesterday we were supposed to do our Spartan Super, but thanks to coronavirus, that destroyed those hopes. But hey, guess what? I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's probably going to work out just fine. But yeah, these identities seem to be roadblocks for people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the statements that I heard, and I believe that Mr. Brian Johnson was the one that said it, was literally just tip your head to the side, see what comes out. This isn't sitting down and taking a half an hour to like contemplate your life.
Yeah.
And
So for my work identity for the last month now has been jack of all trades.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why'd you pick that?
Because I'm now playing the role of a student, as we're still going through our college classes, I'm also being a stay-at-home mom and also slash teacher now that the schools are shut down and now the children's learning is on me. I'm also the executive of my dad's estate, and so I've been trying to work through all of the obstacles that come along with that, especially now that everything is shut down. A lot of things are over the phone and trying to do things electronically. So yeah, I've got so many different things on my plate, and being organized and trying to stay on track to make sure that everything gets done that needs to get done is just jack of all trades. It's learning how to adapt and overcome.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's cool. And so, yeah, it came out of a need, right?
Yeah.
That didn't just like, you didn't wake up in the morning and it's like, yep, gotta be jack of all trades. And ironically, that's probably exactly how it happened.
It is. That's
right?
exactly how it has. Because lately I've been, my work has been identifying as a student and mom.
Yeah. And that's to anybody who's struggling with the carpe diem or struggling with this identity thing. Start with your needs. If you were going to ask me where to start, how did I do it last year? That's what I went to. I went to my needs. What do I need to be right now?
Yeah.
Like, obviously I know who I want to be, but sometimes you don't know exactly who you want to be, or you've got to step up in other areas of your life to maintain that version that you want to be. You know, this stuff shifts and fluctuates and flows. And I think a lot of the people that have done it for a while, you'll eventually settle in on, you're going to settle in on something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been talking about purpose a lot lately, and you know, you read these books, or you or you go to a class and they think that you can just like find your purpose like that, like a snap of the fingers. Like, one of the biggest problems I got with a lot of the things that focus on purpose in the very beginning, or believe that you have to have this end goal purpose in your life, is that if you can't figure that out, you create all this stress around it. And purpose in general is a very difficult thing to truly figure out. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying you might want to just shift off of focus on purpose or your exact best version of you.
Yeah.
And just focus on, okay, who do I need to be now?
Yeah.
To be a person that I would be ecstatic to live with.
Yeah.
You know, who are you going to be happy with now?
So to kind of support that, a few months ago I was on chat with Michael, Coach Michael.
The other
Michael. I don't want to botch your last name.
There's probably a ton of us, but the other guy.
But I was talking to him about my question was how do you get over the anxiety and the overwhelming feeling that you get starting all of this, because you know, for me, I was like, I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 11 years now. Our oldest son will be 11 on the 10th, and this is what I've known, and I haven't put much thought into what I was going to do when all of our kids were in school. And here it is, our youngest daughter, Merida, she's now in kindergarten. So it just kind of hit me. Well, what am I supposed to do now? I've been so busy with having 3 little kids running around and trying to raise them and do things for them and help them grow as individuals and grow together as a family. And I just haven't, I put myself completely to the side. And that's what Michael kind of pointed out, was you need to reconnect with yourself.
Yeah, and I don't think that's anything new, right?
No, that's not anything new. That's something that I've struggled with for a long time, because for me, it was like, and I can't speak for all stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads. But for me, I've always approached it with, you know what, my kids they're only little for so long. I only have them here at home for so long. Um, I'm going to have the rest of my life after they leave to figure things out or to take care of myself. I just kept pushing it off. And when you fall out of that routine of essentially what it is self-care, it's really hard to get back into it. And you can very easily lose actually who you are in the process of it.
Well, yeah, I can honestly say that if you give yourself consistently and all the time to other people without giving back to you, you're gonna run into problems. And that is one thing that I really like about the the Carpe Diem is it's got your number one behaviors.
Yeah.
It's got your meditation time built in there. It's got your exercise built in there. It's got the things that you need to take care of your body in there. The one thing that it probably doesn't have that would be a good idea for anybody doing this type of work is to truly identify those things in a day that are important to you. I talk about Paul Chek a lot, and I'll probably eventually go through his holistic lifestyle coach program. And he preaches the fact that, look, you need to take care of yourself. He's got a little totem pole of the things that are really important to you. And the thing at the top is taking care of your mind and essentially having a spiritual practice every single day. That can be whatever it is for you. It can be meditation, it can be whatever, but you got to take care of those core components of you, because you can't give what you don't have. And if you're not loving yourself, how can you truly then give it to others?
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier at the beginning, when Mike was doing this for the first time, my husband, Mike, I'm just going to call you MC.
I'm Mike. He's Michael. You can call me Michelle too.
No. Dang it. You made me lose it. When Mike was starting out with all this, we were doing like the last 6 months of the program. I want to say we were all sitting down doing the +1s with each other, three to four a night. And then afterwards we do a little story. We have like a huge book on virtues. It's kid friendly and related. And then we do a meditation. And I thought I was doing meditation very well until like the last, I want to say 3 months now. I've actually, before it was just kind of put me to sleep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But the last 3 months now, it's actually dawned on me, and I've actually been able to hear the little thoughts.
Oh, awesome.
That go in my head. And wow, is that, I didn't realize how negative I was. I didn't realize like how hurt my soul was.
Well, it's not your soul. That's not your soul talking. That's your brain. Like that's your brain. And I don't know if we want to get into this.
No, probably not. But
your brain is a very negative individual.
Yeah, but my entire body hurt though during it.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
surprise me.
It wasn't until I started kind of swiping it away and and truly forgiving myself for some of the negative things that were going on in my head, because in this process of starting to help myself out, to do some self-care, I felt very guilty about taking care of myself, because I created the belief system that you don't have to take care of yourself to take care of others. And since that conversation with Michael, and then with my wonderful husband Mike here, that's been helping me in the process of getting back into self-care, it's gotten easier and it's gotten better, and I don't feel guilty about it anymore. But I had to change that belief system that I had created over the many years, that you don't have to take care of yourself to take care of others. I had to reprogram that. I had to break it down, figure out how I created it and why I believe that. And then I needed to challenge that and say, well, you're wrong on this. This is why you need to do it. Look at all these burnouts that you've had. Look at all the emotional blocks that you've had because of this. And just truly open my heart to the belief that I'm worth taking care of, and it's okay. And I actually, the verbiage that I used on it was completely off. And Mike's been helping me on this, is he's like, well, listen to how you're speaking. Listen to how you're talking to yourself. It's okay. No, invite yourself to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the coaches on here that I've interacted with during that time with Michael as well were saying the same way. Think about the way that you talk to yourself, because that's ultimately how it's going to react with you.
Yeah, the body is a crazy thing.
It really is. It really is.
The body's a crazy thing. Like, I mean, the whole world's a crazy thing. I was talking to Holly this week about something that I heard about water. There's a study, this guy did a study on water, and he took the most nastiest polluted water. He has this process where he'll take water, brings it into a freezer, puts it on a dropper of it on a glass slide, puts it under a microscope to see what it looks like. And so he took this nasty water, put it on the slide, froze the slide, and it was all weird. It was all deformed, all just weird. Well, he took that same water, prayed over it, did the same thing. Same water created this just absurdly beautiful water crystal when it froze. And they've done studies to where they'll take jars of water and they'll tape words around the outside. This is water we're talking about. They tape these words around the outside of a mason jar. Some jars have positive words. Some jars have negative words. Some are, I love you, you're awesome, you're great. Some are, you suck, I hate you. And they did the same study with those jars. And the jars with positive comments, beautiful crystals. Jars with negative comments, ugly, deformed crystals. That's water we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies are 75% water. So if we even want to get into a weird, crazy path there, just think about that. The words that you use on yourself and the things that happen to you in your life are going to make a direct impact upon you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what have you been able to do with those insights that you're getting now from meditation?
I've been able to explore, do a lot more self-exploring, and finding out. I've actually been able to figure out why I've created a lot of the belief systems that I have. And I haven't, I don't want to go for much further into some of the belief systems that I'm fighting, that I'm changing, because I can feel myself getting a little emotional. But there's been a lot of negativity that I've said to myself over many years, and a lot of it has actually traced back from before you and I were even together. So, we all have. We all have a voice in our head, and essentially it is us talking to ourselves. And so I've learned that we just need to be aware of that and be kind to ourselves.
Yeah, I've always recognized that the voice in our heads is basically always trying to protect us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the body's primary responsibility is to keep us safe, keep us out of danger, and keep us alive. So you
Yeah.
take a look at these thoughts. If you begin to then weigh those thoughts of like, whatever it's saying to you, if you begin to weigh those thoughts against, okay, what is it actually trying to do for me?
Yeah.
Because like courage is the willingness to act in the face of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you do that, your body instantly kicks you into the fight or flight, and you've got to navigate that. You've got to navigate that. They've got the tool. I'm not, oh my God, I'm bombing it. I'm not scared. I'm not whatever. I'm excited. You have to use a tool to trick the brain that caused the problem, because the body doesn't like being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I know when I first began to try to meditate and do all this stuff, I had no formal training or anything, and I just sit in the tub and I just kind of you can close your eyelids and sort of stare out into the blank space.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'd always thought it was crazy because like these thoughts will just like materialize out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And now it's this movie that's playing in your head. And, one of the points of meditation is to be able to view that movie without being objective about it. You just watch it. And what I started doing was I'd always picture the movie Minority Report. The movie Minority Report, you can view the future before it happens. So these cops are able to respond to violence and murder and all this stuff before it ever happens. They use seers to look forward so that they can picture it. Well, what happens is the dude's standing at this board, and like on this board, there's a bunch of these things. And so what I would do in the tub, when one of those would come up, I'd ask myself, okay, is this important to me? Is this something that really matters? Is this useful? And if it wasn't useful, I'd swipe it off. And I just kind of keep doing that until there was nothing there. Eventually, you'll get to the point where there's nothing there. And like the relaxation that comes from the body when it's not overwhelmed by those negative thoughts is really, really helpful and functional.
Yeah.
But yeah, meditation's a fantastic practice, but I think you kind of hit on something that a lot of people need to realize, is that any of these new techniques or tools are going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if you're new to meditation or you want to get into meditation, you can just go into it with the thought of, okay, let me see how long I can maintain my focus, instead of worrying about going to the Himalayas so that you can levitate off the ground while you're meditating. You can literally just use it as a tool to train your focus.
Yeah.
And you can do that by counting, just count 1, 2, see how high you can get before you have a thought come through your head, and then start over. And that'll give you a good functional tool to train your focus, because meditation is one of the best things to train your focus.
Yeah. And we've actually used meditation. We've taught our oldest son, who has some struggles in school with focus. He'll space out for long periods of time. We've actually taught him how to use meditation to help refocus his brain, so he can get back into it. So he's sat down with his teachers, and he's told them what works for him, and they've been very supportive of it. So that's a big plus too. I mean, it's not just for adults or for soul searching or for anything. You can use it just to, our kids use it too, just as a way of recentering themselves so they can focus and get done what needs to be done. So
Mm-hmm.
there's an unlimited amount of benefits that come to meditation.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like meditation's had a direct positive effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the core? What are some of the core components of it that have truly helped you shift your life, especially when it comes to your belief systems?
Right. So part of what's kind of helped me learn how to kind of guide my meditations a little bit when I'm trying to focus on something specific, as far as like when I'm challenging one of my beliefs, or I guess restructurizing or my belief is Marie Forleo. She's I've been reading her book, Everything is Figure Outable. And she's got some amazing tools in there as well to help you as you kind of go through this process of challenging your beliefs and reprogramming your beliefs to what fits you now. Our beliefs are created when we are very, very tiny. We start creating a belief system when we are basically infants.
Yeah.
And it's all based on experiences, and those experiences either confirm the belief system or will challenge it naturally without you even thinking about it. So meditating has been able to help me to where I can kind of narrow in and explore one belief system at a time. So when I was trying to explore why the belief system of you don't have to take care of yourself to take care of others, I meditated on just that. And I would do that for like the entire 10-15 minute meditation session that I would have at a time. And it just naturally started processing and going through it. And it's actually, that belief system really did start when I was really, really small. As long as I was doing X, Y, and Z, then I was taken care of this way.
Mm-hmm.
I was treated this way. And if I did anything outside of that, then it shifted the way that I was treated. And so the whole thing was, as long as I was doing my chores and I was taking care of other people, then I didn't have any problems. But as soon as I stepped out of line or I asked for even something very small, then it was a completely different shift in the way I was treated and talked to.
Yeah, that's nothing. That highlights the importance of parenting.
Yes.
Because we are creating the belief system for our children.
Yes. And that's part of what I've come, that I've, I didn't even think about that. I never made the connections before because I never cared to explore the past. I didn't like, the past was the past. You can't do anything about it. And so that was just how the belief system kept being created, and it kept being created over time through different relationships, and including in like even with our kids, as long as and I kind of started putting that belief system in our kids. So I've been trying to reprogram a belief too, because that is a very, very hurtful belief system. It's a very, very hurtful belief. And I saw that in our middle child, Dean. He was a hard worker, but he was a hard worker because as long as he worked hard, he didn't have any negativity sent his way. But once he stopped working, and it was, well, what's going on now? You stop doing this, you're starting to get lazy like your brother, and like the negativity started coming in. I was like, okay, we can't be doing that. because that's going to create a belief system that he can't take care of himself. You know, we had the one kid who did like the most work and we never had to ask for anything. And then the other two who was just like, come on, you guys, really, it's like 5 minutes to take care of your room. Just pick it up. You know, we had to like basically beg him. And it was hurtful towards Dean because he was getting like, you know, kind of the brunt of all of it. And
well, yeah, and that shifts, and that's part of our belief system.
Yeah.
They're also running their belief system.
Yeah.
That's why I've shifted away to more or less communicating. I've shifted the way that I attempt to speak to them. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes my patience isn't there, but the way in which we talk to people, you know, is going to determine a lot of the outcome. And we've shifted that. And it sounds like has happened to you in your life is you're actually truly beginning to challenge your belief system.
Yeah.
Because you can create your belief system.
Yeah.
You can challenge the one that's been created for you.
Yeah.
You can step in between that stimulus and that response to choose who you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things about meditation, or one of the greatest things that I can say that's happened to the Optimize coach program for our family.
Yeah, definitely.
We've changed a lot in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to continue to change. We're kind of like a river that's flowing, and I have no idea exactly what's going to come our way, but I think I know where we're going.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe that's a good conversation for next week.
Yeah.
Is the direct effects that the Optimized Coach program and the tools that they teach and the techniques that they teach, how they can actually shift your life, and how they will shift your life if you ever choose to utilize them.
Yeah. Well, you know, the whole, you know, learning all of this, you know, I mean, and, you know, I mentioned Marie Forleo, but there's so much wisdom and knowledge. I actually do like write notes, and I get, instead of just listening to like the plus ones or to the philosopher's notes, I'm actually taking notes on them and making my own like highlights of my own like top five big ideas that I get from them. And it's been helping me become a better parent too, as I'm growing as a person, as an individual, and getting to reconnect with Holly, not just mom, not just wife, but with Holly. I'm seeing patterns that needed to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
And learning, you know, how you speak to yourself is how your belief systems are being created, and how it affects you. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So these problems that I'm having with some of the problems that we're having with our kids is it's made me stop and take a step back and think about the way that I truly speak to them as well. The words that come out of my mouth when I speak to them. And you can see it on their faces too. They're like in shock. They're like, wait a minute. Where's the yelling at? Well, I'm not going to yell at you. How is that productive? How is that helping you grow as a person? You know? So I'm learning how to reprogram my parenting style too. You know, I'll admit I was a very big yeller. I grew up in a yelling house. It kind of got passed along, but just, I'm getting a little more rebellion back from the kids as I've been not so stern. And the way that I like change my words, there's a little bit of rebellion that's coming back to like retesting buttons, like how far can I really push this type thing, you know? But it's getting smoother now too, though. I mean, we've got a better relationship. Colin, who'll be 11. He's turning 11 here. He talks to me about his emotions now.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell me, Mom, I'm feeling really angry, or Mom, I'm feeling really sad right now. And he can identify his emotion that he's feeling, and he can tell me why he's feeling it. And we can explore it together. And it's awesome. Before, it was just, he wouldn't talk. He would just shut down and he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't say anything. But now there's that open line of communication. So there's a whole new level of trust even that's been created, a whole new level of relationship that's been built.
Mm-hmm.
And where our Dean, every emotion that he would feel was instantly anger. It didn't matter what it was anger. But now he's getting better at being able to identify a few other emotions now. And that's awesome, because before it was just,
Hulk.
Yes, he would Hulk out, like seriously.
Instead of breathing to
like
calm down,
breathing to calm down, he would breathe to work up. Like, it's like, so sorry, yeah. So like the breathe technique, we've been doing that with the kids too, and it's been really helping out with Dean. Like every now and then, he still gets on his like tyrants where it takes him a while to get there, but when he's getting quicker to be able to, as we like to say, flip that switch, right?
Yeah.
And he can turn from Mr. Green, or as I like to call him, Dr.
Are you talking about Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
Dr. Banner?
Yeah, Dr.
Is that
Banner.
who you want to be? He's over
We've
here.
Got our
right
son
now.
over here. You want to come in and say hi?
He heard us talking about him. Yeah.
You're going to go climb your tree?
Yeah.
Just be careful.
What I can say is that these tools can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally change your life. Holly hit on the point that what you give to yourself, you're eventually going to give to the world. This whole self-improvement thing, it's real. There's nobody that's going to make the change for you except for you. Yeah. I could sit here all day and, run on and on and on and on and on about belief systems. I mean, just as an example, I gave a talk, 2 years ago at my work about belief systems, how they're created, who creates them, and all that stuff. And it didn't click for Holly until she read it in Marie Forleo's book. I don't care how you get the information, you're going to get it and absorb it in a different way. But if you're not actively seeking the information, you're never going to absorb it. And I guess that's one thing. Self-improvement and self-care, it's not a joke. And here's the thing, nobody's going to do it for you except for you.
And the whole thing with Optimize is you are your first client. I laughed at that. I was like, okay. I don't know how this is going to help out, but sure. Wow. That laugh turned into a holy crap. Man, I got a lot of work I got to get done.
Yep.
But if, and I'm not saying it's easy. This hasn't been like a instant flip of the switch and I'm on top of the world. I mean, it's a constant. It's a constant. It's a slow and steady climb, and it's like an emotional and a mental, I guess the best way that I could describe it would be like when Mike and I went and climbed Mount Adams last year. We climbed the entire mountain all the way up down in one day. We started at 1:00 in the morning, and we wound up getting off track. Mm-hmm. we wound up getting off the trail, and we found ourselves in some very slippery slopes where it was like, okay, do we want to turn around and go all the way back around to find the trail? Or do we want to tackle this gigantic obstacle that's full of different terrain of either snow and ice mixed with just rocks or
Yeah, it was a true mountaineering experience.
Yeah, it was a true mountaineering experience. It truly was. And it was the hardest, scariest thing ever. And I'm not going to lie, actually taking myself on as my first client has been just as scary. It's the same process. It is the exact same process. It's going over this scary terrain that you don't really fully understand. And it's feels like it's very unsecure at times, but that's when you just got to dig in deep and decide who you really want to be, because we can sit here and we can say, yeah, I'm a positive person and I can do this and I can do that, and then when you sit down and you actually explore yourself, it's like, yeah, you do this for everybody else, but what are you doing for you? And then that's just like, well, you don't want to be a hypocritical coach where you're teaching teaching your clients how to take care of themselves and how to overcome these obstacles to get from point A to point D, or so for me, yeah, this is a time where you really should take advantage and be your number one client, because you're going to learn so much more about yourself that you probably didn't even realize. I've done so much self-exploring lately, and there's been some really scary thoughts, and there's been some really like aha, uplifting, just bright, beautiful moments where I'm just like, wow.
Well, good.
And I'm getting more of the brightness and less of the dark. Fantastic. In the process of all of this. So yeah, dig down deep. I was so worried about, how am I going to take this and turn it into a career? What career am I going to build from optimizing coach program? And I don't even care right now. That is the least thing on my mind. Right now, the biggest thing is, how am I going to go through this program and make myself the bigger, better version of myself that I have ever been? How can I use this program to lift myself up and become the best person ever, the best version of myself? Because I haven't been, as much as I've thought that I've been pretty awesome. Because yeah, you know what? I've gone out and I've volunteered. I was on the PTO board for my kids' school. I've done all these positive things, but that was for everybody else. That wasn't anything for me. And it was draining. There were times when I was so stressed out, and I couldn't understand why I was feeling stressed out, because I love helping people. That's like the number one thing that like really makes me shine is, oh, I helped them get to that point. It's like a sense of pride or something, I was like, wow, that felt so good to get you from here to there and be on that journey with you. But when that journey is over with, there was just like a cloud of darkness again. And there was like hills and valleys, ups and downs of just feeling good and then just feeling bad about myself again. And the way that, going through this and learning more about myself and taking care of myself, there have been less hills and valleys in it, because I'm taking care of myself. So I don't need that external energy, that external pride and, oh, wow, that was awesome to get this person from here to here, or seeing the kids at the school get to do this and that because I was helping in the programs and volunteering. There needs to be an internal shine as well as an external shine.
Yeah.
And your external shine is going to be so much brighter when you've got your internal shine.
Yeah, what you give yourself, you give to others.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the biggest changes I've seen in you in the past few months. and it's probably going to continue to go that route. I think this would be a good time to segue into next week, because I think we settled upon a topic that we'll probably talk about next Sunday. If you want to be here, we're going to be back next Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk about the changes that have occurred, positive changes that have occurred in our lives because of Optimize and the Optimize Coach program. You don't even need to go through the coach program to get these absolute benefits of Optimize, because as an Optimize member, you gain instant access to the Mastery Program series, which teaches you everything that you need to end up, just like Holly here, learning about yourself, how to take care of yourself, the important things in your life, how to live a good life. And we're talking information from way back when. Aristotle, 2,000 plus years ago, these guys had it right.
Yeah.
And we need this information more than ever before because of this digital age and the stress with which we live in. I find it absurdly ironic that so many people are losing their minds about this coronavirus when the world has given you, hopefully a gift. Hopefully you don't have, if you've lost your job, it's not a gift, or maybe it is, but it's given all of us an opportunity to take a step back and to figure out what's actually really important.
Yeah.
But Optimize will give you that. I mean, a lifetime membership's like $300. It's one of the best subscriptions that you can ever give yourself per month. I think it's $100 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the benefits you're going to get, this is turning into a sales pitch, but that's fine. I'm okay pitching you.
I'm totally good with it.
Because
it's helped. I've seen so many improvements, not just in Mike, not just in myself, but together as a couple, we've gotten stronger. We've gotten our communication. We thought we had a decent communication. Well, no, it was actually crap. But look, we've got, it's opened, it's really helped our entire family, you know, and it's, if you're going in it to try to better just your work, I would strongly suggest working on yourself a little bit first, because you're going to find that there's a lot more room for you to grow personally. And with personal growth comes growth of everywhere. It doesn't just, when you grow as an individual, it doesn't just stop there. It spreads out. It's the roots that just continue to grow and it covers everything. It just covers your world around you. And it's an amazing feeling.
Sales pitch complete. We're going to see you guys next week on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that me and Holly can talk about the benefits that our lives have seen since we began to utilize Optimize Coach, and the Optimize Mastery series. So thank you to everybody. If you watched it, if you made it here, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you taking time out of your life to spend with me and Holly as we share about our life and our experience with you. So everyone, have yourself a fantastic day, week. Stay virus free. Be awesome.
Bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Love you.
I don't know how to